everybody. How you doing? Welcome to American Defender. Today I want to review a catfish bait. I know that's kind of not my normal thing, but a lot of what I've been doing lately is not my normal thing. All right. It's fishing season in Arizona, and I've been meaning to talk about more fishing here on the channel. Y'all know that I like to fish for catfish. That's my favorite fish. Okay. I love the way they fight. I love how big they get. And I love the type of fishing that it is. You know, it's more of a lazy kind of fishing as opposed to bass fishing where you're running around casting here and casting there and reeling this, cast over there. Oh, nope, got to change this lure, this, that, nope, cast. I bass fish too, but I'm a catfisher at heart. All right, I Mr. Whiskers to me is the way to go, especially flathead catfish. But, you know, most of the year, I don't flathead catfish. I channel catfish. All right. So for channel catfish, my favorite baits currently, right now, are, and they have been since 1995, hot dogs, worms, liver. All right. Those are my favorite channel catfish baits. Those are the three baits that I know at any point in time, if I have that on my hook, I'm catching. All right. If I'm going for bigger channel cat, or if I'm going for flathead, then it's strictly cut bait and live bait. More live bait than cut. Okay. So on the market, and it's been on the market for years, you know, we have what I call artificial baits. All right. So to me, like a hot dog, a worm, or a piece of liver, live bait, that's not an artificial bait in my eyes. I even use Zote soap at some points in time, and I don't consider that an artificial bait either, because it's got animal fat in it. All right. So it's a gray area. I know. It could go either way. But, you know, baits like Mr. Whiskers, blood baits, punch baits, things like that, I usually look at those as gimmicks. All right. I don't think those baits are really there to catch fish. They're there to catch fishermen. All right. Kind of like a lot of lures that are out on the market for bass fishing. They're not really for catching the fish. They're there for catching the fishermen. So when I saw the stuff that I'm going to be talking about today, I thought it was a gimmick. I thought it was a great big, super stinky, expensive gimmick. And what I'm talking about today is striker bait. This is their Bravo garlic bait right here. And within my hands right here, I have an official tub of booty juice, because that is what this stuff straight up smells like. I mean, this stuff is, if you've ever smelled, you know, like the Mr. Whiskers Great Scott blood bait, that kind of stuff, it smells just like that, but like 100 times more pungent. It's just so concentrated. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to probably barf when I go to do this. I'm not going to breathe. It even looks like booty in there. All right. It is just, oh, do not get this stuff on you. It does not come off. Okay. That stink is, you've got to scrub and scrub and scrub if you get that on you. And it doesn't matter if it's fresh out of the can, or if it's been in the water for an hour and you go, oh, I'm going to take this off the hook. The stink's gone out. No, the stink just got worse once it gets wet. Okay. It becomes more sticky, I'll call it. It'll stick to your hands even more, because then it can soak into the pores of your fish. Just touching that bucket. Yep. My hands smell like that stuff now. Just touching the bucket. All right. The way you use this stuff, though, is, you know, you get the treble hook with a little spring or the sponge on it. You can use either one, or you don't even have to have the spring or the sponge. You can just use a 2, 4, or 6 treble hook. You take a stick. They call it a punch stick. It's a stick. Okay. Just find about a 3/8. A wooden dowel would work. All right. And you take your treble hook, and you push it about halfway to all the way down inside the bucket. I suggest kind of doing it from the middle, or a little bit off from the middle of the bucket. you push it down in there, and then you pull it out at a 45, holding your line. You pull it out at a 45-degree angle, and then you got this big old mess of hairy, stinky stuff on the end of your hook. And then you can lob it out. All right, and that's how this is to be used. It doesn't require refrigeration, but it is to be kept cool. All right, so here in Arizona, that means it requires refrigeration. Um, so either way, I've tried this stuff in several different types of bodies of water, several different bodies of water, and the reason I decided to try it is there's a couple reasons. Number one, I am the admin of Arizona Canal Busters. Okay, we have over 2,500 members. I have fished the canals in this state my entire life. Even before we could legally fish them, I was fishing them. Okay, so I've seen a lot of people talking about this on Arizona Canal Busters. A lot of people. Number two, there's a member of ours. Look at cats on the roof. There's a member of ours who's actually a YouTuber here. His channel is Real Fishing. His name is Jeff. Very nice guy. Haven't met him yet, but he's a very nice guy. And he swears by that stuff. And I've kind of talked to him here on YouTube about it, and I've been like, hey, that looks pretty cool. If it works really well like that, because he's having some good luck with it, so I'm gonna have to try it. So I've got it, and I've been trying it, like I said, for about the last week and a half. All right, and here are my results and what I have found. You ready? Here we go. Lakes. What lakes have I tried with it? First, Canyon Lake and Saguaro Lake and Tempe Town Lake. Now, I don't really consider Tempe Town Lake a lake. I call it Tempe Town Puddle for a reason, all right? Because that's basically what it is, okay? It's a puddle in the middle of Tempe, Arizona. But those are the three lakes that I've tried it in. And as far as those three lakes go, Saguaro and Canyon both, I've tried it on a boat and off a boat. I have been all over those lakes with this stuff, and I've caught exactly this many fish. Okay, I've caught none. I've gone to Tempe Town Lake with it, and I've repeated that result. All right, so no fish whatsoever off of it. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go ahead and try the river. I'm going to try the different sections of the river that I know of my little sweet spots for channel cat, because that's really what that's aiming at, is channel cat. And I want to see how it does compared to hot dog. Now, in all these tests, I'm comparing it to hot dog, worms, or liver. All right. So we go from water users, all the way down to Granite Reef with this on the lower Salt River over a period of like 3 days, just fishing the river in various different places, and Skunkola again. Okay. So all of the lakes, I got skunked with that stuff. The rivers, I got skunked with that stuff. So the next body of water that I'm going to try with it is the urban ponds. Now this is where this kind of stuff really should shine. All right. Something this stinky, the reason it's that stinky is it's supposed to be used in, typically, traditionally, in kind of a somewhat stagnant water that has maybe just a little bit of movement to it, but not a whole lot. So I thought, man, that's got to do great in ponds. I got skunked again. All right, I have tried here in Arizona. I have tried Red Mountain Park, Desert Oasis, Veterans Oasis. I have tried Kiwanis. I have tried the Riparian Preserve. I have tried. There's one other park, and I can't remember its name. And there's, what was that other one? Papago? Yeah, Papago Park with it. That's 7 different parks that I've tried. All right. Going from the west side to the east side, north to south. Again, nothing. All right. So the only body of water left for me to try is my home away from home, the canal. And my very first trip with this out to the canal to my favorite spot. It's a very deep, calm spot with just a slight bit of movement. I've caught flathead in this spot, channel cat, carp, trout, bass. I've caught everything in this spot. It's deep, it's wide, and it has a lot of activity as far as fish go. So I'm like, I'm going to that spot. I fished that stuff right next to worms and liver. The worms and liver were catching. That stuff was not. All right. That is until today. Like I said, I just got home here about 2 hours ago from fishing. And today I went to another spot on the canals. It's part of what they call the consolidated canal. It's a walking and bike path next to the canal, right in the middle of the city. And I've gone to this place before, and normally this particular location, I'll just tell you where it is. It's Lindsay and Baseline. All right. Normally I go here for white and yellow bass. All right, because they like to hang out around the rapids in these areas. So I'll go there with a little spinner or something, some minnows, some worms, or something like that, and I'll pull out the yellow bass all day long there. All right, and every now and then I'll get a largemouth, okay, or a bluegill or something like that. Just anything that swims is fair game to me. So I like catching anything really. I've caught channel cat here before too. I've even caught my personal best. This was years ago. My personal best flathead was caught at Lindsay and Baseline. It was 61 pounds. All right, caught it in a canal. All right, and I released it into a canal. I didn't keep it. The big fish like that, I never keep them because those are generational fish. Those are breeders. Those keep the water stocked, right? And usually those big fish like that are female, so I don't keep them. Channel cat, I'll keep them. Channel cat. But flatheads, I'm picky about them. All right, 10 pounds and under, between 5 and 10 pounds, I'll keep a flathead. Anything over that, no, you're a breeder. So anyway, we decided to take this stuff there today, and we got there at 3:00 this afternoon, and we fished and we fished and we fished for like 3 hours, and I was about to call it, over with, because I neither one of us were really catching anything. We kept punching the bait kept coming off. And that's something that I've noticed with this stuff too. It dissolves. All right, whether the water's moving or not, it doesn't stay on the hook. It dissolves. It floats off of the hook. I have left this in the water before for 30 minutes and brought back a bare hook. All right. So we fished for like 3 hours, from like 3:00 to 6:00, and we decided, okay, we're here. Let's just move down the canal, because this is the thing with canal fishing. If you're not fishing, if you're fishing in one spot and you're not catching in that spot, just move 500 feet, and you'll be surprised at what happens. So we did that. We were fishing right at the lock, and then we went 500 feet down, right at the edge of the waves, I'll call it. So we toss in at about 6:00 there, and about 30 minutes goes by, and we're just about to call it quits, and bam, my wife catches one. All right. So I'm like, hey, we finally got a fish on this stuff. That is awesome. So I go over there. I was fishing on an opposite end, so I go over there with her. We're fishing about 20 feet apart from each other. And so I'm punching my bait on there, and I throw it out. And my wife, in that amount of time, an amount of about 25 minutes, so from 6 to about 6:30, ends up catching 3. All right, and I'm like, okay, this is looking good. This is promising. This is the way fishing. This is how I remember it. Okay, this is why I like the canals. And I hadn't caught anything yet, but about 7:00 rolls around, and boom, I got my first one. Okay, they were all smaller channels. All right, so they're all little like 1-2 pound channels, but hey, a fish is a fish, catching is catching. All right, it's still fun. So I throw him back in, I rebait, I get back out there. 5 minutes later, boom, I'm on to catfish number 2, and I bring him in. Same thing. Punch the bait, get it back out there. 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes. Boom, I'm on my third one. My wife and I, in a friendly manner, we kind of compete with each other who catches the most fish in that day. All right, and whoever does has to buy the other one a Coke. So we ended up tying 3 apiece. All right, and right before we left, I had a 4th one hit, but I prematurely went to go set the hook, and I could kind of feel him on there, but he got off. So today is the only day that I caught anything on that. In hindsight, looking back at the $20 I spent on that, compared though to my hot dogs, my worms, my liver, and my Zote soap, how would I compare that to it? How effective is it? In my experience, it's less effective. I'm not going to say it's not worth it, because we did finally eventually catch, but we really had to like narrow it down. And what we did catch, the 6 fish that we did catch between me and my wife, might have yielded 12 pounds of catfish. And out of those 12 pounds of catfish, maybe 5 or so pounds of that would have been edible if we were trying to eat it. Okay, so of course we weren't trying to eat today. We were just fishing for fun today. So I do not find currently, unless something changes, I'm not done testing it, by the way, I do not find this stuff as effective. It says it's a competition proven winning formula on it. I'm going to guarantee you that competition wasn't held in Arizona. Okay. This stuff right here, it's kind of hit or miss. I'm going to tell you it's up to you if you want to buy it or not. My results will definitely be different than what your results might be. My results are probably different than what a lot of other folks. There's folks out there, like I said, Jeff, he lives by this stuff. All right. And he fishes the canals just like I do. And we rig the same way and we fish the same way. And he's caught some fairly decent sized fish on this. Myself, I haven't. All right. I haven't caught very much. I've gone through a half a tub. That's a pound of this stuff that I've gone through. Both me and my wife. And nothing. All right. Nothing. Except for these 6 today that between her and I that I caught. So you could take that information and do with it what you will. In my opinion, I still look at that as a gimmick. I still think it's a gimmick. I still think it's a joke. And currently, right now, if someone asks me about it, I'm going to tell you that was designed to catch fishermen and not fish. I'm going to continue trying it, and I'm praying that that changes. I do see good potential in it, so it may not be as gimmicky as the Mr. Whiskers nuggets and all of that. The big difference here between that stuff and this stuff is I've actually caught something on that. I've never caught anything on the other stuff. So if you want to compare this striker to like the Great Scott or Blood Bait, Mr. Whiskers, Mr. Catfish, all of that kind of stuff, yeah, go with the striker. In that regard, yes, that stuff works better. Yes, that stuff actually works. All right. 100%. All right. In that case, yes, I would recommend it. If that's the way you like to fish, is use these kinds of bait. Yeah, use that. But for me, one, I don't like how much that stuff stinks. It's bad. I mean, my wife and I were gagging on the way home. I still have a little bit on my hook and a little bit on my wife's hook. and I don't dare touch it. All right, because well, I've made that mistake once before, and I had to wash my hands like 15 times to get the stuff off with a bunch of different types of soap. And so, from that aspect, from the price aspect of it, um, no, it's not going to be my go-to. However, if something was to happen, I all of a sudden got into a bunch of 10-pound channels with it, that would be a game changer for me. Okay, that would change the game. And at that point in time, if it was going to do that reliably, then yes, I would definitely recommend it. I'd be an idiot not to. But as it sits right now, I'm kind of on the fence with it. All right. It just seems kind of like luck of the draw, really. Um, it was weird tonight how, though, it was like somebody flipped a switch. It was really weird because it was like, boom, the bite's on, and the pole would go in 5-10 minutes, catfish would come out. But we've had that too with hot dogs, worms, liver, so all those things. So that could, like I said, be luck of the draw, right place, right time. I don't know. So that is my thoughts on the Striker Bravo garlic punch bait. Now they have another one that's called the Alpha Blood Bait, and then they have another flavor that's like a 4-cheese. All right, and I haven't tried those yet. I'm looking to see how this works before I decide whether or not I want to try the blood version or the cheese version. All right, and if I do that, maybe what I should do, and you guys tell me down below, maybe I should try all 3 types of striker at the same point in time in a known area where I know I'm going to catch fish and see if there's a difference. So any which way, that's the striker catfish bait. That's what I've got to say about it. Like I said, I'm on the fence. It's up to you. I'm going to leave this one up to you, whether you guys want to buy it or not. It's your money. I'm not going to suggest one way or another, really. All right. With my luck on it, I guess I'll say, let me recant that. If you're going to fish in a lake in Arizona, don't buy it. It ain't worth your time. If you're going to fish in the river, it's kind of a 50-50. If you're going to fish in ponds with it, again, I'm going to still say it's like a 50-50, judging with others' experience. If you're going to fish in the canal with it, I would be more apt to try the canal with that than I would any other place, because that's where I've actually caught fish. That's where I've seen results. That's what I'll say about it. Okay. It does catch fish, but does it really catch fish at a higher rate than the normal traditional catfish baits? I have yet to see anything that proves that. So thank you for watching. God bless you. Remember to take a kid fishing, take a kid shooting, and I will see you on the flip. Bye now.